video, I'm going to show you all these secret bosses, awesome hidden treasures and items, as well as transformations that you can receive in chapters 1 and 2 of Black Myth Wukong. This is going to cover everything that you're going to need to know and things most people commonly missed. So with that being said, sit back, relax, and let me show you what we're going to be looking at. Now first off, let's go over 2 secret bosses that are very missable within Black Myth Wukong. We are going to need to be in chapter 2 to access the items we need in order to go back to chapter 1 and find that first secret boss, but then the next secret boss is going to be in chapter 2. So as you're roaming around the village entrance shrine in chapter 2, you're going to make your way to the 2 rat bosses, the King of Flowing Sands and the second Prince of Flowing Sands. You can defeat them here and take a left, and then you're going to find an area where there's a giant rat boss. Upon the first Prince of Flowing Sands defeat, you'll notice a wall on your left. You can run up to the wall and use the spirit you got in chapter 1 in order to smash a hole in it, and then make your way through. As you make your way through that wall, you're going to notice there's one solitary chest in the middle of the room. Go ahead and open that chest, and inside you are going to find some scales, which we are going to need to access the boss in chapter 1. You're going to head to the Forest of Wolves outside the Forest Shrine and follow the short route that I'm going to show you here. Pretty much you're going to stay left the entire time, and then you will run into a waterfall. At this waterfall, you're going to attain a prompt, at which point you can use the scales you've just received from the box in the previous chapter. After you use the scales, the waterfall will stop, and then you will once again be able to run through a crack in the wall. What's nice about these scales is you can actually use the same item to access the second hidden boss, located in chapter 2. Once you enter the waterfall, you're going to be greeted by Red Long. I think this is one of the most fun bosses I've fought so far, but he can be a little bit frustrating. One massive tip is hit him until he gets staggered, and then go ahead and attack these silver bulbs on the back of his back, and then that will do massive damage to him. You'll get a ton of different items for beating him, but one of the main items you want is the Thunder Tail, which is going to be used to craft this staff. I do have a full guide on how to unlock the Longwreath staff, so I'll leave that down in the description below. For our next hidden boss, you're going to want to head to the Rock Rest Flat Shrine in chapter 2. From the shrine, you're going to make an immediate right, and you're going to see a bunch of stone stairs that lead up to a sand waterfall. There are some pretty punishing enemies here, especially at the level you get here, so make sure you're careful of that, but after you kill them, you'll get a prompt just like you did from the waterfall in chapter 1, and you can use the exact same scales in order to access this area. You'll then be greeted by our second hidden boss, Black Long, and he's very fun to fight. He has a very cool rhythmic pattern in terms of how he attacks you, so if you can get the rhythm or the dance down, this boss should be easy for you, and after you defeat him, you'll be getting the second item that we need in order to craft the Longwreath staff, the Thunder Bone. All you need now is refined iron sand and some will, and you'll be good to go. And speaking of will, in chapters 1 and 2, there are 2 will farms that are absolutely extraordinary, and I just did a video on this, so I'll leave that down in the description below as well, but I'll run over the routes here with you real quick. In chapter 1 in the Bamboo Grove, you're going to want to go to the Snake Trail Shrine and make your way around the route that I'm going to show you. There are 4 separate living snake men that you want to take out. Each one is going to give you about 175 will, and over the course of an hour, you're going to get about 40,000 will, equaling about 20 sparks for you to level up. As soon as you come to the Bamboo Forest, there's 2 snake men you want to worry about. After you kill them, you should be able to use the Incense Trail Talisman in order to teleport back to your previous shrine and start again. Now the Rock Rest Flat Shrine is where our second will farm is going to be. From the start of the farm, you're going to take a left at the shrine, follow it the route that I'm showing you to defeat your first stone man. After you defeat him, you're going to run directly in front of you to the boar with the spear, easily put down, and then you're going to run up the mountain to the right. There are 2 stone men here you want to take out, and after you kill both of them, there's one more boar in a mask. Then, after you kill that boar, head to the right, and there's going to be a shielded boar who you can use all of your spells and magic on in order to take him down quickly. Once you defeat him, all you'll have to do is run right back to the shrine a few feet away and repeat this process. I did this for about an hour and got about 38,000 will, which was a solid number. The next item you're going to want to look out for is a staff that you can craft called the Cloud Pattern Stone Staff. This is an excellent early game staff with 60 attack and 30 defense, allowing you to do more damage with heavy charged attacks, but there is a little bit of a puzzle in order to get it done. So I'm going to show you where every single Buddha statue is, so you can get the Buddha eyes in order to go through this questline and snag this staff. So after you kill both of the Flowing Sands bosses, instead of taking a left to the shrine, you are going to take a right across this rope bridge. Continue following the route, and on the right before a shrine, is going to be your very first Buddha statue. From that Buddha head straight and follow this route that I'm going to show you, and we're going to curve up into this very small village to the right. There's going to be one Buddha head amongst a ton of enemies. Make sure you kill all the enemies or you won't be able to interact with the Buddha head until you do so, and then after that, go ahead and grab the eyes. Now for your next Buddha head, you're not going to have to go far. Look immediately to your left and down the hill, and you will see it from where you currently are. Just jump down, grab those eyes, and we can move on to the next one. Now follow the route that I'm showing you here so we can get to the next Buddha head and grab some more eyes. It's going to be around this path following the braziers up until a small shrine where a Buddha head will be underneath an outcropping surrounded by a ton of little knickknacks. Now from that location, you're once again going to follow the line of braziers that go through this entire cave. We are looking for another Buddha head that's going to be outside on top of a wooden terrace that you can just run up to and grab. There will be some enemies in this area, so make sure you avoid them or kill them as you go, but after you get outside, you can grab these eyes and then we'll move on to the next one. For our last eye, you're going to head to the Rockrest Flat Shrine, and immediately to your left, there's going to be the very last Buddha head. Grab the eye, and then we're going to continue on the route over to the left and go through and fight two separate bosses. You can activate a secret boss here, and it will fight the other boss for you. Then you will only have to fight one boss at about half health. This is definitely not a hard boss fight at all, especially since you're fighting him at not full health, but after you defeat him, you will have the Heart of Stone you need in order to grab the Cloud Pattern Stone Staff for yourself. Next up, we're going to be doing a very missable questline. This is going to be the Stone Man questline, and you're going to head to the Squall hideout and follow the route that I'm showing you here. This will give you one of the best transformations in my opinion, very early game, and it will also open up an exclusive shop for you with quest items that you're going to need later in the game. Once you find the Stone Man, exhaust all of his dialogue, and he's going to ask you for an item. We'll then have to go find the Mother of Stone, and it's going to be a very mini boss fight that's not hard at all, and I'll show you the route how to get there, but sadly in the footage that I'm showing you, I do not have the boss fight captured, so I can just show you where she is. You follow the route I'm showing you from the third Buddha head you've just found, and you're going to continue up following the braziers. You'll notice a very bluish looking stone on the left side as you get towards the end of this tunnel, and that is actually the Mother of Stone. Go ahead and start hitting it, and eventually it will give you an item after you kill it. Return to the Stone Man and give him the item you got from the Stone Mother, and then he will start raving about a treasure. Go ahead and start hitting him, and then you will find yourself in a mini boss fight. The boss fight is going to end when you finally defeat him, and you're going to receive a transformation and a shop with a ton of good items in it. For our next hidden boss and questline, we need to go find the Rattle Drum. You're going to attain this Rattle Drum from a certain enemy in the game, the Tiger Acolyte. I will show you exactly how to get there and the shrine to start at. The fight is not very hard at all, and you're going to get his spirit as well. Starting from the Windrest Hamlet Shrine, you're going to follow my route I'm showing you right here, and eventually you will end up on a bridge where the Tiger Acolyte is going to be, and you can kill him to get this rattle. After you kill the Tiger Acolyte, you're then going to head to the Windseal Gate Shrine and follow this next route. Now that we have the Rattle Drum, we are going to ring it in certain locations within Chapter 2 in order for us to summon a few enemies and kill them and then move on to the next spot. You'll know you're in the right spot when the saturation of your screen begins to turn gray, and then you'll have an opportunity to ring the drum. Fight the enemies and kill them, and then we can move on to the next spot. You'll then head to the Windrest Hamlet Shrine and backtrack your way into the small village. Stay to the left, and then you're going to come to another area where your screen will start to be saturated with gray. Then you'll ring the bell and rinse and repeat. For our third and last area, we need to go to the Valley of Despair, and you will once again backtrack your way up and through the gate, running up towards where the two-headed rats are, run past them, and go into the village, where you will then find a well. There is a mini-boss here on the left you can ignore and come back and fight later, but after you ring the drum at the well, there's going to be a cutscene, and then you need to jump down into the well. After you get down to the bottom of the well, there's going to be a boss fight, and after defeating this tiger, you are going to be rewarded with the Tiger Transformation. This transformation is going to cause an explosion all around you, doing massive damage to enemies. It is a very good transformation. Now, real quick before you leave this area, there is a house that you need to go to in order to talk to a rat captain hiding behind a stone inside of a house. This is going to be used for a different questline down the road, so you definitely just want to make sure that you talk to him while you're here. Next up, you're going to head to the Rockrest Flat because there's a quest that we need to do here, and it's very extensive but gives you some really awesome gear. It's called the Drunken Boar, and you're going to go through his entire questline, and I'm going to show you step by step what to do in this video. However, before we start, we're going to need a sobering stone, because if you just approach him without one, he's just going to be throwing up into a bucket, and you won't be able to talk to him. So you're going to go to the Windrest Bridge Site of Grace, which is right after you defeat the tiger at the Tiger Temple, and you're going to run through this village, making your way up to the left. There's going to be a sobering stone in a small jar located right here in this small house, and once you get it, you can then return to the boar and give him the stone. He'll then get up and start giving you some dialogue, and at this point you can now head to the Tiger Temple, which is going to be his next location. Run up the stairs to the temple and veer to the right, and then you will be greeted with the boar. He will ask for a Jade Lotus at this point, but you should have one in your inventory, so that shouldn't be a problem at all. At this point, you need to leave him at the Tiger Temple and go back to the original location you found the boar in. As you crest the hill, you can look to the right, and he will be standing in front of the building, and you are going to have to fight him. After his defeat, he's going to take you to a secret area where you then need to encounter the tiger boss. This is an incredibly linear area, so you won't miss him at all, but defeat that tiger boss, and then after that, go through the door, and you're going to see a giant drum to the right with an NPC you need to talk to. He's going to summon yet another boss for you. This boss is a little bit harder, but after you defeat him, you'll then be teleported out of the secret area back to your original location, and you're going to receive the Wind Tamer Vessel, which is a phenomenal item, as well as a really awesome looking armor set. And the last thing I want to mention in this video that you definitely don't want to miss in Chapter 2 is if you travel to the cellar from the Crouching Tiger Temple after you defeat the tiger boss, go underneath of his arena, and you eventually will run into this fox. This fox is going to sell you a ton of different items. However, the most important things that he does is sells you items that allow your stats to be boosted indefinitely. These are permanent stat boosts that you can put on your character, and they are incredibly important, especially as you get into chapters 3 and 4. You are going to need mind cores for all of these, and those can be easily farmed in the first 2 farms I showed you within this video. And guys, there you have it. That is 11 things that I think are very missable and that you need to know within chapters 1 and 2 of Black Myth Wukong. If you guys liked this video, make sure to like the video and let me know. Also, subscribe on your way out. I appreciate it a ton. Thank you guys so much for sitting here until the very end. I hope this helped you guys. Let me know some tips and things that you guys know down in the comments. And until next time, stay safe, enjoy the game, and I'll see you in the next one.